Hello Zainey friends, I am Laney.
And I am Marshall.
We are coming at you with my 10 brands I want to try in 2019. I know everyone else is saying 9 in 2019, but I'm doing 10. Actually,
one more than you.
It's actually more like 11 because I'm giving you a bonus. I'll explain that later. So this video is mainly about brands that I have never tried before that I want to try something for this year. Most of the time I have picked out a product specifically that I would like to try from them. Other times it's that I don't really have a preference, or when they come out with something that I think I'm more interested in, then I want to try that brand. But I have seen that my trends right now, because I'm being more intentional, is because not only do I want to support small and indie businesses, most of the things on this list are an indie company of some type. Even if they are a little more well known, they are kind of indie, and most of them are vegan and cruelty free. I noticed that trend as well. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. Marshall knows nothing about most of these companies at all, like usual.
She's not told me anything.
I did this research a lot like without him. So he's kind of coming at this from more of a what does the company look like and their philosophy and what the picture looks like, rather than, you know, what he knows about the company. And in all cases, I'm going to try to put a picture either right here or over one of our faces so that you can see what we're actually talking about. So let's start with number 10. The first brand I want to try in 2019 is Colored Raine. Specifically their Queen of Hearts palette, which everyone tried to get and talked about, and they took it away and then they brought it back. And I still haven't, but I am interested in trying the brand itself. So Colored Raine is cruelty-free, and the majority of their products are vegan. The product I want to get though is not vegan, because they use carmine, crushed up carmine, which is beetle, in the more redder hues. That happens a lot. It's a very big trend in the industry to really get that red color. They'll use carmine, and because this company does use carmine in this palette specifically, it is not vegan. But a lot of their newer items are vegan, so they've made that conscious decision to step out of using carmine, except for this case because this is an older palette. This palette costs $50, which for a palette that's higher end, that's not completely bad. What do you think of the colors on this
There
palette?
is a nice purple color on the top right. I'm really drawn to that one. There's also the pink princess there. That one's not bad. And the shimmery gold, so the top line is pretty cool. I think I like all of the top line except for that one orangey one.
Oh, you mean that one?
Yeah.
Empress. The ones on the bottom, I really like Ladyship and Noblewoman also, but I think that, like, what is that? Duchess is going to be a good crease color. Overall, I think it's really my color scheme. Is this something that I've had in my collection before? Yes. But I've heard the formula is really good. The reason why this is like my least of wanting to try is because I could totally bump this off and not even care. But it is one of the ones that are on my list to try. The next company that I want to try on number 9 is a company called Saucebox, which is an up-and-coming indie company. It is made by a mother-daughter duo, and they have really quirky packaging. Right now, they're selling 3 palettes on their site, 2 of which you can get singly, but you can get the third one in a bundle of all 3 of them. They are cruelty-free, but it doesn't look like they're vegan-free. So the Nocturne palette, I feel like it's cute. That's what the name of this palette is. The Nocturne palette. It's $45. You get 8 shades. There are, like I said, there are 3 palettes in the collection. The Secret Garden and the Etude palette. If you hold them all together, you will see that there is a color scheme, but you can also get them separately. The packaging, I'm going to put it up right here, is very quirky and cute, which I think is what drew me to them. But as far as the palette itself goes, it looks like there are 3 that you could use as like a good blending transition or base shade, and then there's like 2 really nice like rosy ones, an olive green, this really dark maroon, and a dark blue. It's kind of in my wheelhouse. It's nothing like stupendous, but I think the scheme of the palette to me is very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really do like the two rosy shades and the purple a lot.
Number 8 is Zoeva. Zoeva had not even been on my radar until I had heard they came out with a new palette a couple weeks ago, but this is not the palette we're going to talk about. So when I did a little research on Zoeva, I found out that the lady whose name is Eva, she created the name of this because Zoe is the Greek word for life, and Eva is the first woman, Eva, and also her name. So that's how she got the name of it, which I thought was fun. From what I can tell, this company is not cruelty-free and not vegan, but the palette itself that I'm looking at is called the IC palette. And it's eyeshadow, get it? It is $26.50, which I think is incredibly reasonable for a palette. I love the packaging. The packaging looks like it's very Greek and very fun. The colors themselves, you will notice there's a lot of similar colors to the Nocturne palette that we just saw, with a couple additions like that red in there.
That green catches my eye.
So good. That's what caught my eye too. The green, the light purple, and the gold together, I feel like is going to make such an interesting look. When I use palettes, I don't tend to like to dip in like 3 or 4 different palettes unless I am using like an all matte palette and I want to go in with a shimmer and I need another palette. I like palettes to be complete. You can do your entire look and only have to use one palette. I like that. So I think this one will be really gorgeous for that. I really do.
You know, for having 10 shades in there for $26, that's not bad.
Really isn't. It really isn't. So I think I'm pretty excited about this particular brand. The next one is called Bombshell Cosmetica. Do not get it confused with Bombshell Cosmetics. It's a completely different company. This is Bombshell Cosmetica. They have this entire line of like candy palettes. They look like candy. They had, I can't remember what the other ones were, but I was really just intrigued because I'm all about theming and packaging. So I'm like, yeah, I want to try this. So the palette that I saw that I wanted was the Oh Hubba Hubba palette that is based off, I'm sure, bubblegum is what it is. The palette itself is $49.99 and you get 12 shades. It looks like it's cardboard packaging. It's fine. That doesn't bother me. But there's a couple shades in here that I'm like totally grooving over. That would be the light. There's like a light mint, kind of a dark glitter, the 2 purples and the 1 pink down at the bottom. Totally awesome. And then like yellowish gold one on the left-hand side. What I don't like about this is it looks like there's 2 oranges and they're really similar in shade.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% crazy about that. But all that aside, I can make it work as a base shade, and layering stuff on top I think will be fine.
But I get the theme that they're going for. This is very much bubblegum and chewing gum. That mint is like straight up chewing gum. So
love that. So what do you think of the color scheme of this?
I think other than those colors that are replicating each other, and the colors themselves, like I'm not too fond of for those that are repeating. Just the orange? Yeah.
Not a fan of orange. Some people love orange.
Yeah, but other than those, I actually think this is really cute palette.
Yeah.
It's got some nice colors to it.
I don't have a picture of the outside of it, but you know, you can find that somewhere. The next one is a company called Nabla. It is not in the U.S. A couple of the ones I have are not in the U.S. But Nabla is kind of more prevalent like out in Europe. You can buy them on Beauty Bay and they will ship to the U.S. He's looking at the price in pounds right now. I do have the price in there in US dollars. But yeah. Nabla is a cruelty-free vegan, born of the minds of a physicist, an artist, and an osteopath, which is a primary care doctor, for those of you who don't speak foreign medicine. An osteopath is a primary care doctor. I thought that was so interesting when I was doing that research, that a physicist, an artist, and a primary care doctor decided to come up with a makeup brand.
They went to a bar one day and
The palette that I'm interested in, and granted, not all of these are going to be palettes, but just whatever. The palette that I'm interested in is called the Dreamy palette. It is $45 and you get 12 shades. So it is a couple dollars cheaper than the Oh Hubba Hubba, but it's the same amount of shades. The actual colors are not exciting, like in that, oh, I really like that color, I really like that. It is a functional palette. It's got some nice neutrals, it's got a couple purples in there and a pink. What I will say about Nabla is I just want to try the brand. This is the palette that I would try right now. If they come out with something like later on in the year, I might get that instead of this one. But this is the one that, like, from their site really just caught my eye, and I was like, I would try that, you know? But as a brand, I really want to try it, because I've heard a lot of good things about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the colors are just a functional set, and it works for your color tones.
Definitely does, yes. The next brand is Dominique Cosmetics. This palette in general has been very much hyped lately. A lot of people went like, oh gosh, another berry palette, really? But then everybody ate their words. Apparently they all got it and were like, oh, great. So I'm talking about Dominique Cosmetics. She was a YouTuber who developed her own makeup. So this is the Berries and Cream palette that I'm talking about. This palette is screaming my name. This is exactly everything I want in a palette. I have this in another palette, like different ones, different colors and different other palettes, but I don't freaking care. If I'm going to try anything from Dominique Cosmetics, this is the one I'm going to try, and I'm going to love it. I've already decided. The palette itself is $44. Still, it's in that same frame of how much you are paying, and again, you get 12 shades.
Those are really gorgeous shades. They like, even the whites have a bit of berry to them, which is really nice. Like, so it's and what's important about that is that it's not just oh, it's a stark white, but it will actually blend together better with the other colors that are going on in here. And it feels like, you know, the layout of them is pretty good too. I think it all works together very well. It's well thought out.
They also have a matte lip that I want to try in like a pink color, and their matte lips are about $18, which for like a higher end something you get at Sephora is pretty comparable to what you would get. So I think I would like to try the matte lip, but I really just want to try this palette. Our next brand is a brand from the UK that I've heard a lot of indie people talking about called Certifeye, and Certifeye is spelled like Certif and then I, get it? They are cruelty-free. They also do have man-related products if you have a beard. They have a lot of like beard oil and stuff.
They have beard oil. They have a beard comb, which apparently doubles as brass knuckles. Really interesting looking.
Funny, yeah.
I don't have a beard, so a lot of their stuff is not too useful for me, but I think they also have a an aftershave kind of thing.
As far as the palette that I'm looking at, I had to kind of look through there. I really do want to try Certifeye, but this palette was the only one I found that I was like, yeah, I could get that and I could do something with it. It is $42 and it's called the Affinity palette. There are a lot, it's weird. It's kind of the spectrum of purples to pinks to reds to oranges to yellows. I see where they're going. It's a spectrum, right? But I could pull off the bottom half. Again, this is one of those things where I'm like, nah, probably later down the line I might do an order and get a palette with something that's something I know I would use. Because they're UK based, I'm going to be very picky about what I get from them because of the shipping. It's going to be a little bit more. So, and
honestly, even that white there, I don't think you could use that.
No,
because that's more on the yellow side of whites.
Yeah. But that's not to say that the brand is bad. I've heard a lot of good things about the brand, so I really do want to try it. The next one is not a makeup brand for your face, but I had to include it because when I was looking up brands you need to try in 2019 from other like news sources or things that they found in like indie conventions, I found this and I was like, ooh, this sounds super interesting to me. The brand is called Hype Nails. It is fingernail polish, and the cool thing about this nail company is it is plant-based. So they use, I can't remember what plants exactly, but the formula is very natural. It is 5 free, it's not 7 free, but it's 5 free, which means that a lot of the toxins are not in there. And they also boast that it has a big brush. So I'm guessing it's going to be very similar to like a Kathleen Lights brush nail polish. Oh, I did write down what the plants were. Corn, yucca, and potatoes. That's what it's made out of. And I thought, this sounds just really intriguing to me. So I'm going to put a picture here of the one shade that I was like, I'm getting that. It's $7.99. Totally reasonable for nail polish.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I have kind of oily nails. So my favorite 2 brands of nail polish are Pacifica and Kathleen Lights because it stays on for like a week and I don't have to worry about it coming off like everything else. I've noticed that all the 5 and 7 free polishes are like that for me, so I'm really hoping that Hype is also like that. I hope it's worth the hype. But I'm excited about this nail brand, which is why it's so high up on my list of things I want to try. What do you think of it as like a concept?
I think it's really cool that it's using all those plant-based materials in there. I'm wondering how they make it work, but you know, that's why they're doing it. They're chemists, not me.
Our next, this will be the number 2 brand, is called Mavie, which has been a lot of places lately. One of my friends turned me on to Samantha March, which I hadn't really watched her much, and so she's who I found out about Dominique Cosmetics and Mavie from, and I'm really excited about this. So Mavie is a cruelty-free, vegan, paraben-free, and gluten-free, all in their eyeshadows. They have this entire like take me to a location collection on their eyeshadows, and they're all of the color schemes kind of work with those cities. So she's got take me to Tokyo, take me to Paris, take me to Santorini, take me to Stockholm, take me to Los Angeles, and take me to Hong Kong. And of these cost $23 for a 9-pan palette. Totally reasonable in my opinion, especially for the hype that I've heard around this and how good they truly are. I am interested most in the Take Me to Paris palette and the Take Me to Hong Kong palette. These 2 right here are the ones I'm most interested in. Probably Take Me to Paris is my favorite, but Take Me to Hong Kong, the colors in that just scream cool toned fall, and I'm digging it. I really am digging it. They also have a blush that's really pretty called Let Your Light Shine. That's the name of the shade, and that one's $14. So I think that's also very, very affordable. I want to try both. I think the concept is just really awesome. It's themed, but it's still kind of like makes you feel happy that you're doing it.
I like that it does have that travel theme. It's like, okay, where do I feel like going? Take me to here. I like that idea behind the whole.
What do you think of the 2 palettes that I'm looking at?
The Hong Kong palette is very strong, and it does remind me of like lights in a city, like especially like the pictures that I've seen of Hong Kong. Those colors is things that I'd see there.
Yeah.
Paris, yeah. I can also
that green, that teal green.
Well, what I also appreciate is that they put those colors into the artwork.
In the packaging, yeah. Yeah. So again, this is why this is very high up on my scale. Like, I'm so excited about this. So excited. All right. My very last company, before we get to the bonus, is Blush Tribe. Fun fact, Blush Tribe, the person who runs Blush Tribe, their sister runs Certifeye. So they have in the family these 2 companies. Also based in the UK, established in 2019, so they're only 2 years old. They're getting a lot of hype already in the beauty world. They are cruelty-free. This palette that I am looking at to get is called the Hasina 2 palette, and it is $34. You get 15 shadows. Am I counting right? Yeah, 15 shadows in this palette. This could be bordering on too much shadow for me. And in fact, you're going to look at this, it's purples, blues, and greens, right? So that's the basic, except for the black color, that's the basic color scheme of this. I love a purple eye. It reminds me of the Norvina. I love a blue, and I do love a green. Do I like them together? I guess that's going to be seen if I get this palette.
The black, from the looks of it, although it's a very deep black, is a blue hint.
There is kind of, yeah, you're right.
Which actually makes it blend in between the 2 very nicely.
I feel like the shade Erin and Mahia Mahia are similar, but I feel like they're going to swatch incredibly differently because the Mahia color looks a lot deeper and the Erin color looks more like my shirt. So I think it's going to be different.
Silver, though.
It looks great.
That looks really interesting.
So more than likely what's going to end up happening, because this is a UK brand, when I finally do make my Blush Tribe order, I'll probably end up getting a second palette of a different color scheme as well. But as far as a color scheme and me being excited by it, I'm truly excited by this, for sure. Let's go to our bonus. Our next brand is a brand that's been around for a little bit on people's radar. It's Juvia's Place. I actually have tried a Juvia's Place palette, the Mini Masquerade. I did declutter it because the color scheme was not one that I was reaching for a lot. But the formula is out of this world. And I told myself when another palette comes that I want from them, I will get it, as well as a blush, because their blushes apparently are exciting too. So a little bit about Juvia's Place, if you're not familiar, the majority of their shadows are vegan and they are cruelty free. The palette that I am looking at is called the Saharan 2. It's a 9-pan palette and it's $20. What do you think about the color scheme on this one, Marshall?
That's interesting. The blues are very different from what I would have expected here.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I do like those blues a lot. And in fact, it's pretty much that triangle there, those two blues and the pink, that kind of make the palette. But the other ones are still strong.
I think with the shimmery purple in the middle, they'll actually go very well. Yeah. That line. But what I like about it is the fact that if you cover up, like, okay, so if you cover up half of it, like, let's say you cover up one vertical line, that could be a complete eye look. You cover up the next one, that's a complete eye look, and then that's a complete eye look. If you go this way, it's like, do you want the lighter eye look? So the way they even broke down the palette to me, even if it's a 9-pan palette, is so interesting.
Yeah.
And they really do put that thought into their eyeshadows, I believe. That you can break it down like that, even with the limited amount of palette colors that you have, and it still kind of all goes together.
Yeah.
So that is Juvia's Place. So thank you for watching my 11 brands that I'm going to try in 2019. This is the first year I've ever done this video, and I thought this would be such a great way to be more intentional about my purchases and about what I'm really looking for in a brand. We still will bring you interesting, like, if other things pop up throughout the year about this theme palette that someone is doing and we haven't really tried the brand before, we're all about bringing that to you in addition to this list. So don't worry, it's not just this that we're buying, but we are being more conscientious about what we are buying this year. So that is why we're doing that. So we hope you enjoy that. What are you gonna bring when it comes to this kind of thing this year?
One of the things that I am hoping to do, and it's kind of like I'm doing research on finding the right ones, is I'm trying to find some boxes, some subscription boxes that I want to try out. Just like try out one per month maybe, but I don't exactly know all of them that I want to do because many of them just end up being men's fashion boxes. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So if you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and leave those in the comments.
You're looking for more like lifestyle and skin care.
Lifestyle, skin care.
Toiletries, that kind of thing, right?
Fun, stuff like that. I saw one box that was supposed to be about like outdoorsy tools, which was interesting to me. It's just, if you find something that you think is really odd and interesting, go ahead and put it down below. I'll take a look.
I'm gonna bring it to you. That's what we're trying this year. We're not just doing the vlogs, we're also trying to bring you more intentional, this is, you know, things you should check out lifestyle wise, not just, hey, it's all about beauty, because it's not.
No.
Not really, not anymore.
Because you've also got a dude here that just doesn't sit here and go.
True that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time,
stay zany.
Bye-bye.